When you're feeling in a rut and you're feeling a bit meh, sometimes that's a good sign. That's a sign for you to move into a different direction. So it's not necessarily negative. It's actually a little bit of a hello. It's like the universe being like, hey, take a minute and sit with this. And you're going to feel maybe down for a bit, but use this as an opportunity of where do you actually want to go? It means that you're ready for change.
Change is inevitable. It is constant. In fact, in a world that seems to be changing at a terrifying pace, the only thing we can be truly sure of is that we can't really be sure of anything. Change has been a running theme since the global pandemic, and now many of us are feeling pretty damn exhausted. To offer a positive slant, though, is this week's guest, Metz Bryan, co-founder and production partner at The Or, a creative agency she launched in 2021. Part of the Mother Group, its core values are celebrating curiosity, rewarding empathy, and encouraging independent thinking. And it is built on this very premise that change is something to embrace and behold. Metz herself is someone familiar with change. She grew up in Latin America, later Canada, and then moved to the UK in 2012, working at leading agencies such as adam&eveDDB, McCann London, and BBC Creative. Her entire career has been about learning to pivot and adapt to the times. Change has been very good for her. Metz is a big believer that we should all be open to change, that adaptability is one of the greatest traits we can have to cope with the ups and downs of modern life, to thrive in our careers, and even help make the world a better place. Thank you so much for joining me today, Metz.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a really interesting topic today. We're going to be talking about adaptability, and I feel that's so current for what's happening right now in the world. So looking forward to diving into that.
Yes, me too.
Because we're all kind of going through a lot of change. I mean, and change for you, that's kind of been a constant theme in your life, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if we go back to my childhood, I grew up in Canada, but I also grew up in Latin America, during my formative years. So that was like, I guess, my first big intro to change. And it was during those years where I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, like teenage years. And I think that's really was beneficial. I mean, at the time it was awful, but it did teach me that when you have to make big changes, it's actually okay. And it might be a bit painful, but you come out the other side with a few new lessons. And perhaps that's what has spurred me on to move a lot and move to this country and do things like start a agency in a pandemic and all other crazy things.
Yeah. So, you're not shy of like giving yourself a challenge.
Yeah, I'm really grateful actually now that I've gone through that, and I feel like change has always been in our life, but now it feels like we're more aware of it, and that's a little bit jarring and a little scary for most of us. And I think as society we're kind of coming to grips with that and learning how to move out of that, forward with that, and how it might be actually a blessing in disguise, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we've all had a tough year. And when I talk to friends and people who work in the industry, they're like, oh, you know what? 2023 has been the worst. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Why is that? And I think it's just that kind of, come down almost of all the craziness of the previous years. We have gone through a lot of change.
Yeah. I mean, the pandemic was crazy. I mean, I don't want to bang on about it, but we all went through it, and it was a scary time because it was like the unknown. And then it's taken so long to really move out of that, and I think we still have remnants of that. And 2023 was a weird year because we really had a couple years to like deal with the pandemic, but now we're back to real life and realizing it's not the same as it was before. And I feel like that's what's really making us unaware of how to handle it.
It's making us tired.
Totally.
It's making us. I think we're all a bit knackered, aren't we?
I am exhausted. I don't know about you. Yeah. I'm exhausted.
Totally. Very much so. Yeah, it's been a difficult year. And this Christmas, this festive season, my goodness. I mean, are you going to be taking some time off? Are you going to go back and see family? Or family are all over the world now, aren't they?
Yeah. So my family is from Latin America, Canada, West Africa, everywhere. And you know what? I'm actually going to lay low on Christmas because I did that last year. And it's weird because on Christmas, it's one hand, everyone loves the festive season and they love to think about the big families and stuff. But then also that can be quite stressful.
Oh, gosh,
so I did the
yes.
opposite. So I actually just did something really, really small and it was really relaxing. So I know that it's not really like some people think it's a bit sad when you think about it, but actually there's some benefits to it. And that was another change for me I had to embrace. But actually, people take notice. Like it might not be so bad to keep it small.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we kind of put a lot of pressure on ourselves at that time of year, don't we? I mean, this episode is going to come out in December, so it's interesting to talk about Christmas in terms of change, because I always find that it's a lovely time of year. It can be very stressful as well, but it's also like there's nothing I find than New Year's Eve to remind us that time marches on, and I find that so depressing, but also quite bittersweet.
I mean, I find New Year, it can be a chance to reflect. And I find it like, I love two parts of the year. I love September because it's like back to school. You know, when I was in elementary school, you have a new outfit. There's no uniform. You can just decide who you want to be that year and almost like reinvent and rebirth. And then I love January for that because you kind of reflect on the year past, see like how did you do, and also all the things you might have wanted to do in September, like soft launch, you can hard launch in January. So I find it like quite like a chance to really rebirth yourself, and potentially that can be really motivating as long as you don't put too much pressure on yourself. And I think that's why it also has a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah.
Because people put maybe too much, or they put too much on their to-do list. But it's really a chance to say, you know what, another year's passed. What do I want to do? What can I do this year? What didn't I do last year that I can do this year? And sometimes that can be a little exciting.
Oh, so totally. I mean, I love that back to school feeling as well. And it's that reinvention. We can sort of, we can start again. It doesn't matter what mistakes we might have made. I mean, we've definitely learned from them, hopefully. But we can just begin again. And it's that, like you say, it's that rebirth I love.
Yeah, it's almost like embracing change, like in a very big way, and almost like embracing the embrace. It's not shying away from it. It's almost like a moment where you're like, okay, you know what, this is the time to change. So really going for it.
Yeah, I mean, change is inevitable. We have to accept that it's going to happen. And a lot of people, like we sort of alluded before, a lot of us are in shock. A lot of us are exhausted. But, there is an opportunity now to just sort of take stock and say, okay, well, how do I want my life to be moving forward? I suppose it doesn't help with all the cultural change that's going on as well. The fact that where we work from and, marketing trends, my God, in your industry must be like exploding. I mean, you wrote a really interesting piece about Beyonce and her world tour, which she's just finished this year, and how that was just genius because Beyonce realizes that you just, to a certain extent, you can't control the message anymore, can you?
No, like you absolutely can't. And I know she's from similar generation to me. So we've seen the world before social media and before like documenting everything and phones up at the concert to now where everything is documented and there's no teasers, everything's a spoiler. And I think that she's quite smart in terms of just embracing what that is and not trying to fight things. Like it's about not fighting change because you can't control it. And I think we get really worked up as humans when we are trying to control something and we can't, and everything's changing and we can't control it. And that's when all this anxiety starts like bubbling up. So it was so clever of her to decide and control her little part of the world and how people want to engage with her and how people still will get that like dopamine rush of having their phones out and sharing stuff and feeling like they're popular. She decided, I'm going to just work this into the whole message. And I thought that was really, really brilliant because everyone kind of wins. And it's a great way to start tapping into things that we might complain about. Like, artists have been known to complain about, oh, don't put your phones up and I want you to, enjoy the show. And maybe that's how people enjoy the show, Like just because I'm an old and I don't do it that way doesn't mean other people do. So it's almost like not trying to control people's experience, trying to enhance it and just give them a different reason to believe in it. And I just think she did that really brilliantly with her show. And now we're all going to enjoy her movie that comes out, which is going to be way better than any footage you saw on TikTok.
Oh my goodness, yes. And I suppose in that sense, she can control the content because it's out there and in that case, but then all the beautiful marketing that goes around that. I mean,
genius.
That is just so much fun for somebody like yourself. I mean, you would have loved to work on that, right?
I mean, 100%. I've had the privilege of working at the BBC, which has a lot of great content. And I love the work we do at the Orb, but it's a bit different than when you're working with different brands. It's a little bit different than, just focusing on certain content and working for BBC when I just grew up thinking, what a great institution. And getting to work on some of the greats was awesome. And I feel like maybe Beyonce, it's like, don't fly too close to the sun. Like maybe it would just like she'd become too real.
Yes. Yeah, it's nice to, what do they say, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, never meet your heroes. So like a part of me is like, that would be amazing. And then a part of me is like, maybe it wouldn't.
So who have you worked with, or are you not at liberty to say?
No, I mean, one of my favorite jobs, I think anyone who has ever met me, I've told them because I love RuPaul's Drag Race, and I did get to work on the first UK season of Drag Race. So that was actually a real highlight for me, amongst
Sashay
other things.
Away.
Totally. So it's really quite a privilege to be able to work on certain like things like that. So, but it is, you do see behind the curtain, and sometimes you don't want to see behind the curtain. I mean, behind the curtain at RuPaul was very glamorous and cool and exactly what you thought it would be.
Yes, of course.
But you never know when you're working with other kind of big celebrities like Beyonce and such.
That's when we have
super duper A-listers.
Yeah, that's when we put our hands over our mouths and sort of, lean in and whisper, oh, I know it's like really unprofessional, but so-and-so is such a diva.
Yeah. I mean, she's allowed to be, but yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, everybody kind of who works in the entertainment industry always has those sort of quiet conversations behind doors.
Yeah.
We just love to gossip. We're terrible, aren't we?
We love a blind item, don't we? We all know.
I know. But like, it must be so hard at the top because, they have to deal with change, these musicians, these artists, on a practically daily basis. I mean, some of them have the art of reinvention down to an absolute T, and we can see that with people like Beyonce, Madonna. I mean, God, Madonna's in her 60s now and she's in the middle of her tour, isn't she?
Yeah.
Queen, queen of reinvention.
Some people don't get tired, I think, is what we've learned. Like, they just keep going. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I think in my 60s, I can imagine myself going, oh gosh, how does anyone get out of their seat without groaning?
Honestly, I can't imagine doing a Zumba class, let alone a world tour.
Oh, I've got no coordination. I'd be useless. I'd just be laughing. I'd be kicked out. In fact, I was once kicked out of a dance class because I was laughing too much.
Stop it.
Yes, I really was. When they say let go left, I go right, and then just burst into laughter. So it's not good. But change is it's something that we all have to sort of keep fighting to embrace, if that makes sense. Because I feel like I'm in my mid-40s now. You say you're getting older. I think you're similar age to me. You're a bit younger than me. But do you find that kind of like, you have to sort of fight this kind of urge to not embrace the change? Because that's something that sets in, I think, for our age.
I definitely think that it is a constant practice to make sure you're not getting too set in your ways. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but it's like I've had different life cycles coming into childhood and adulthood. Mm-hmm. And especially adulthood, they feel a bit more noticeable to me. So you have, in my case, 20s, you're trying to figure everything out, figure out your career, figure out who you are, what you want, what do you want your life to be as an adult. And then by the time I got to my 30s, mid-30s, I thought, oh, I figured it all out. I'm smashing it, like tick, tick, tick. I've got it all figured out. And then you hit like the late 30s, early 40s, I'm aging myself. And then you realize, actually, you don't know anything.
Yeah. That's why I was laughing. I knew what was coming.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't actually know anything because everything's always changing around you.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit humbling to have to go back on all of this pride that you had.
Yes.
And realize, I'm starting from scratch. Obviously, we're not. We have a lot of wisdom behind us, and almost that wisdom is helping you know that you know less than you thought.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is pretty humbling. And now I kind of take things as they come.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been really different.
Well, I think when you've been through so much, and like you say, with the wisdom, what's the classic line? The more you know, the less you know, or the more you know, the more you realize you don't know anything. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you're right. It is humbling because you've been at this part of your life. Unless you've been super, super lucky, you've been through quite a few, difficult moments, sad times, lots of change. And yeah, it's kind of like nothing surprises you anymore. So you're kind of like on this new grounding, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because I'm going through this myself at the moment. I'm trying to figure out how I feel. And you're absolutely right. You get to a stage where you're like, oh, okay. So I've had my midlife crisis. I bought the ridiculously big jazzy trainers and realized actually that was a huge mistake. And now I'm
huge mistake.
Huge, big. And I'm just like, okay, so what's next? Because you almost, I don't know if you felt this way, but I had a big sort of confidence knock when I realized this. Oh, actually, there's all these people coming up behind me who are full of energy, and I'm starting to feel knackered all the time. And they've got great ideas, and I've kind of done this for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh God, what am I still relevant? What do I do next? And it's that I think hits a lot of people at this age.
100%. I think there's two ways to really approach it. And it is at first really frightening, and you want to almost just shut the door and not even engage with it. But I feel like the young people of today coming up, they've had such a different experience than we ever had coming up. And I'm so fascinated on how they see the world and how they live their life and how they approach things, because I realize it is so different from me. And sometimes it just feels really alien and not logical whatsoever. And it's really me checking myself, not trying to be an old crusty woman, and actually say, what can I learn from you? And they are I think that when you're open and they engage with you, they get a lot from you back. And then you can really find that like nice leveling. And we have some younger like people here at the OR, and they're just so great. And they have lots of energy, lots of great ideas. And I feel like it's always better to, again, humble yourself and listen and just stop and listen to what people have to say, because they see the world from a different set of eyes than you. And it really helps in this industry to make sure you're just not tapping out, and that you're actually learning about the audience, like the whole audience, and not just the part of the audience you belong to.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? It's like changing your perspective and sort of stepping out of yourself, avoiding that kind of self-focus, and really sort of saying, well, actually, this is great because I've got something to give, and I had a different experience when I was young. And these kids today have like you say, they've just had a completely different time growing up in the kind of, oh God, when did we grow up? For us, it was like 90s. The 90s. Yes. My goodness. Yeah. That feels like a very long time ago now.
It was. And I actually feel for them a little bit because they have so much more coming at them. I mean, I feel quite overwhelmed by all of the different things, coming at me all the time, whether it's social media and emails and blah, 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 blah. And they've had that the whole time. And I think that that's why they're a bit sad. To be honest. So So I do feel for them because it's hard. And that's why they have their own worldview and we should be respectful of that.
Are you on Facebook? Did you ever go on there, or Instagram?
Oh my gosh, I was on Facebook and it was such a vibe at the time. Now I don't know people are still on it, not really me.
No, me neither.
People are still on it and I'm on Instagram a little bit, and TikTok I only tap into because it's good for the industry. But I also see all of the different articles and studies about how you really need to monitor yourself because it's not good for you.
Makes me sad. It really makes me miserable. If I go on Instagram, every now and again, I have a sort of moment where I feel like I'm missing out. It's just ridiculous. I'm 45 years old and why am I doing this? And I'll go on and start an Instagram personal account again. And then within sort of half an hour, I feel sad. And it's awful. It's weird because I've got the app for Creative Boom and I'll go on that occasionally. But because it's a work thing, and it's only something that I go on occasionally and it's about supporting creatives, that's really positive and lovely. And I get to sort of stay in touch with the industry. But personally, oh my God, I hate it.
Yeah, I feel like there's still so much positive stuff about social media, but it's about curating your experience. And once you curate it in a positive way, you will get more positive back. But then when it becomes just a bit more random and about personal, it can be this, that, and the other. I just don't really love that kind of side of it because it is overwhelming.
Yeah, it is. I find as well, even with the Creative Boom account, I will spend, a good hour scrolling through all those funny videos and sending them to my sister-in-law. And that is good fun. That's great. All these kind of dance crazes. And I'm like, we should start an Instagram account and make it so that we are, trying to do these dance routines, but badly. People will love it. I mean, I'm like a teenager.
I love that. Yeah, embrace it. Embrace the trends.
So is this why you partly why you co-founded The Oar? The idea that, change is inevitable and the industry's changing at a terrifying rate, and so is the world. Was that the kind of thinking behind it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we launched in October 2020. So we had been in a pandemic for about 6 months. And it was such a crazy time in our industry where we were all trying to figure out what was working, what wasn't working. And it was evident that independent creative thinking was still working and people still wanted that. And that was an opportunity for us at The Oar to actually launch during that time and really embrace the whole idea of change and be built around that and be built ready to change. Because a lot of the bigger networks and holding companies, they weren't able to do that. It was just already too much. It was already too much. Things were in place and there was a bit of a panic, but it was hard to pivot. So we launched knowing that we wanted to be an ad agency for the future, for brands who wanted to embrace the future, embrace change, embrace the world, and be open to going on that journey.
Amazing.
And I feel like it was quite a good, it's something we really strongly believe in, and working in that way has also, helped me in my personal life, embracing change, being more open to what's happening with young people, being more open to different audiences, because that's what we want to speak to in solving brands' problems. It's been really great, and I think we really love it.
Yeah, it's a clever angle. And of course, it's your job to help clients keep up. Are they proactive in adapting, or do you help them pivot, or is it a case of a bit of both?
I feel like when we partner with brands, we're very open about who we are, and they really want to work with us because they have the same mindset. And having that mindset has made us really have great collaborations and been able to do great work with them. So that's been really great, having that, just being very open about what we want to do and having those brands work with us and embrace the change with us. Yeah, that's a great starting point, isn't it? Just, having that openness. Yeah, 100%. And I feel like, more and more brands hopefully are going to get on board and we'll be doing even more of this work because it's not going anywhere. It keeps getting it's ramping up. In the last 3 years, I feel like it's ramped up even more than before.
Oh, gosh, yes. I mean, I suppose you'll be sort of still figuring it out as you go along as well.
I mean, the thing about, I guess, embracing this model means that I've never been in a role where I feel like nothing's ever really just stayed the same, which is really, really, it's really fun and really random to think about it, but thinking back about how, how it's been and what we've done. And I think, wow, we're just doing completely different stuff all the time. And I love that. And I feel like that means that we're on the right track.
It's so creative. It's so creative. Those meetings you must have. Like, what can we do now? Oh, my goodness.
It's so funny because working as the production partner, I got to bring these ideas to life. And it could be anything. And it's really hard when people do, what do you do exactly? Do you produce? Do you just do content, or do you do out of home, or what do you do? And I say, well, I do just about anything. Like, we've done content films, we've done television, we've done out of home, we've done activations, we've done product stuff, It's just a really mixed bag. So it keeps us on our toes for sure.
Oh, and never a dull moment, I suppose.
Oh, never a dull moment, and really hilarious conversations.
Really? Oh, really? Because I suppose you can the world's your oyster, isn't it, really?
100%. And the creatives that we work with, I mean, they're super creative, super open-minded, and they don't let anything hold them back, which is great. Very open to however we can answer this creatively. Let's really push the boundaries.
Fantastic. And has there ever been anything that was just too out there, too wacky, that you sort of said, no, we can't go there?
I mean, I have, I think, 2 rules in terms of how we approach production, which is, it has to be legal.
Yeah, of course.
So we can't like break the law. And of course, as a producer, I have to say it has to be on time and on budget. So those are the 2 rules. But other than that, it's fair game.
Brilliant. So what can you tell us of a recent kind of example of something that was just great fun to do and the client really embraced?
We worked on this really great television spot for Harry's Razors, and they're based in the U.S. and they had their UK launch, and so we're working with them on the UK comms, and it was such a great collaboration because we had such a fun idea, really different type of comedy script, quite simple concept, and we took that and really ran with it. You should definitely check it out. I think you can still see it online. It's Harry's, and it's all about a Satsuma and the perfect Satsuma peel, and it's so funny, and it's a bit different, a bit random. We had a great director on it, Max Sherman from Some Such, who really just elevated our script to even another level. And when you watch it, people have really loved it. They've come up to me and they say, this is such an amazing spot because it feels a bit more, I would say, like timeless. So you don't know really when it was done, but it's something that we can all relate to. And it's really funny in a subtle way. And it just really works with the product as well. So it's just like ticking a lot of boxes, great performances. And it was great because the Harry's guys were just so open. They were so collaborative and the most perfect brand partners you could imagine.
I think it's when the best work gets done.
Yeah, 100%. Like, everyone was just on their A game, and it was really it was just such a smooth process, and it was, a complete joy from start to finish.
Do you feel that the rest of the industry is doing well to keep up with the momentum, or do you find that you're kind of, I'm probably asking you to show off here, but do you feel like the oar is kind of the leader of the pack?
I mean, of course, we want to be the leader of the pack, and we want to be the agency and be part of the industry, that we want to see. That old saying, be the change you want to be. I do think that I live in a beautiful bubble now, in terms of our day-to-day and how we approach things. And I think I'm feeling very privileged for that. And I think that everyone else, the industry does have the right intentions, and I think some do it better than others. And I think also the new generation is kind of holding people to task a bit more.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good thing, even though, again, it involves embracing change for those who have been in it longer and have been in more maybe toxic situations. But I don't think anyone wants to be in a toxic situation. So I do feel like hopefully we're inching towards a better place, and we all just have to do our part to make sure we unlearn bad behavior and embrace a new way of approaching work and approaching our audience and approaching our staff and also approaching ourselves and how we want to show up.
Yes. I mean, that was one of the benefits of the pandemic, wasn't it? It created this huge cultural change, super positive, and it's now sort of, ricocheting across the industry. It's probably still a long way to go, would you say?
I feel like it's probably one of those things that will never end. And I've learned, that's me in my surrender old age wisdom moment. Actually, let's always keep pushing forward because we are getting better incrementally.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to take 2 steps forward, you take 1 step back.
Yeah.
You take 2 steps forward. You're still further than where you started, but it feels like maybe you aren't. And I do think that that's how things tend to go.
Yeah.
So in one sense, I see so much improvement in terms of how certain things are handled. Even from the last 10 years that I've been in the UK, I've noticed a difference. And I say that actually is progress, but it doesn't happen overnight. It's just little by little, trickling until one day something happens. And you said, oh, actually, that's actually way better than that would have been handled 10 years ago. And then, we're slowly going towards a better place, but we can't just sit back and put our feet up and think everything's solved because it's a daily practice.
Of course, change sometimes does feel like it's very slow. I mean, we only have to look back to some of the reaction of that wonderful family scene, that Christmas advert with Sainsbury's. Was it in December 2020?
Yeah.
And some of the reaction online, and it was just so disheartening.
And sometimes when you go on Twitter, you just get one pool of people who are angry.
Yes.
And it feels like the whole world is angry.
And it's not.
And it's not. But we also have to try and always reduce the angry mob and see if we can find that common ground and try and just have a bit more empathy for people.
Change does not happen overnight in that sense, certainly. And so do you find that brands, clients that are coming to work with you, are they kind of more open to kind of being more diverse, more kind of...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I feel like, especially in the UK, everyone has improved. I've had some crazy stories from 10 years ago, which were awful.
Oh.
But now I know everyone that, we work with and all UK brands, they're so on top of it. They're so, they believe in it, and we have quite a diverse team here at the OR, a diverse co-founding partnership and a diverse team. It's really important to make sure that we're working with everyone who's in line with that. Yeah. And we have, which is great because we 100% believe in that. And it's almost like a non-negotiable when we meet new clients.
Yeah. Reflective of the UK and reflective of, where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And so moving on, I mean, a lot has changed since the days of Ella Fitzgerald. I mean, I'm sorry, I've got to mention another cultural icon. I mean, she found huge success with far less media available back then and with all the obstacles in her way. And compared to Beyonce today, the change, if you just look at those two icons themselves, that you can just see the huge change that's happened across the board, whether it's culture, the world, media, marketing. I mean, is it too naive a question to ask? Is it an exciting time to be in this industry?
I mean, I feel like we have the power to make it exciting. And there's an opportunity in every stage has an opportunity. So I feel like this industry is really a great place to be. And for, people coming up, and for me, I'm very grateful for it. There's never been a better time to be me than today, comparatively from the past. And we stand on everyone who came before us who had to deal with more abuse and aggressions and really stuck with it. So I'm very grateful to everyone coming before me. And also, as who I am, I have to remember to keep pushing forward and make this a welcoming place for everyone so that it is a great industry for everyone. And it does continue and evolve and become better. So it's an ongoing situation to always pay it forward and not to forget that it's really important to be mindful of who is coming up and what you're doing and how you're acting, because you don't want this to regress, and you want to also make sure that we're just one of the best industries that people want to get into.
Yeah, that's beautifully put. And was this, when you were growing up in the 80s and 90s, was this kind of the career you always had in mind, or was it something that just naturally evolved? I mean, you started off your career as a production assistant, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know really about this industry, and a lot of people, especially people from different backgrounds and different classes, especially, they don't know that this is a career.
Yeah.
So number one thing is even just like telling young people that this exists. I always was interested in media and culture. So I feel like that was just my natural tendencies of what I liked. And then almost stumbling upon this industry when I was coming out of, university and starting my career. That's really how I got my foot in the door. So I suppose I'm lucky that I'm working in something that I always had an interest in from a young person.
Yeah.
But I had no idea that this would be my career because I just didn't know it existed.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? Until we sort of get into the industry, you just don't know what the job roles are or anything. You kind of have to sort of experience it for yourself, I guess.
Yeah.
All those job descriptions don't really mean anything to us when we're young.
100%. And I mean, I was in a more traditional place. So I remember when I went to my guidance counselor, and it was like 1990, maybe it's the year 2000. I was back in Canada at this point, and I said, I think I like, I don't know, graphic design maybe, because it was still quite a unknown thing. Like the InDesign was not a thing. Imagine like graphic design, there's no InDesign, there's barely an Illustrator. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And my guidance counselor said, I don't think you'd like that. It's really boring. You're just like in a basement all the time. And I mean, what bad advice. So she didn't know really what she was talking about. And that's the people hired to guide us.
Yeah.
So you've got the blind leading the blind.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to kind of stick to my guns and say, I don't want to do engineering or English or what else were people doing in university? I feel like that's all they were doing. They all end up engineers at my high school.
Wow. Smart kids.
I guess so.
Well, what was the media, the movie, or the kind of music that inspired you?
Well, when I was younger, we had in Latin America, we had MTV, Latin American MTV, and I was just glued to that because they had quite an international selection of music. So I got music from the UK, I got music from Latin America, I got music from the States, and from Europe. And I feel like that was quite formative because the 90s is a golden age of music video.
Oh, hell yeah.
So they had the budgets and they had everything, that the record labels backing them. So I was mesmerized by the music videos and the music and, watching movies like The Fifth Element and Romeo and Juliet and Hackers. I love that movie, even though it's a bit cheesy.
Oh, no, not at all. No, you're speaking to someone who agrees, is nodding along.
Amazing. So I feel like all of getting a bit of a view of different types of music and style and different subcultures, it was very fascinating to me. So that's probably why I moved to England anyway, because I thought, that's cool stuff coming out of there. I want to be there. And I think that also gave me my taste into loving the media and loving the artistry behind it and wanting to do something more on that sense versus a more, I guess, quote unquote, traditional job, which wasn't as vibey. No,
they all carry lanyards, don't they, and wear suits.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to wear work clothes was the thing. Don't like work clothes. It's just clothes to express yourself. That's what I love about this industry. One of the many things.
Which change over every September.
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. What kind of theme are you in this year?
I'm in a comfort, stylish, comfort luxury theme.
Nice.
That's my new era. I love how sweatpants can be glamorous now.
I know, right?
Like, wow, we've nailed it. Thank you, Uniqlo.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Marks and Spencer, I saw the other day that they had some new jazzy, sexy, luxury, joggers in. I was like, oh, they look really nice. They're like wide leg.
Love it. I have a confession. I have not worn jeans since the pandemic.
Well, you know what?
I put them, I never wore them. And then I said, I don't miss you. And they went in the bin.
Uncomfortable. They are uncomfortable. I've got my mom jeans on today and they're cutting into my stomach.
Yeah. Done. Just let them go.
You saying I just get something with like a drawstring waist?
That's what I have right now. And they have pleats, so it looks glam.
Nice.
So everyone wins.
I'm going to take inspiration from this.
Great. I love how we have fashion tips as well on the podcast.
I might just go and buy some more really like over-the-top trainers as well. Why not?
Yeah. You know what? We've learned from the past, but let's try again.
Yeah. People will look at me and think I'm ridiculous, but who cares, right? I'm getting to that age where I just don't care anymore what people think of me.
That is actually one of the best parts of
getting
maturing.
Yeah, well, no, it's getting old. It's a privilege, isn't it? I'm like, when people ask me how old I am, I like proudly say I am 45 and still alive.
You know what? You got to own it. It's cool out here. And it's also never been the best time to be into your 40s, into your 50s, because there's a big push from women that are a little older generation, older than us, and they are really making moves and making it cool and making their issues important. And so I think that's great. And it's making me I feel really lucky that I'm coming up in this generation.
Yeah, same.
So it's nothing to be afraid of, youngsters. You'll be fine.
Yes, and you will turn 40 one day, even though it doesn't feel like you will.
Yeah, and when you do, you won't feel it, but have a big party.
Yeah, exactly. And love it because it's, it's something we should be proud of.
100%.
But just going back to what you were saying about what inspired you, those music videos, the costumes, the lighting, the kind of camera angles, all the kind of stuff that you probably really loved. I mean, do you get to do that now in your job? Do you get to be on the kind of set and be amongst all that excitement? Yeah,
and this is the coolest thing. I mean, being on set, working with directors, working with DOPs, set designers, working with music supervisors and sound engineers and graphic artists and animators. It is so cool to see everything come together and everyone so great at their specific craft. It's fascinating. And I think that's really, for me, very cool moments when it's almost a full circle moment saying, oh, wow, I get to see this. I get to be here. I get to do stuff like this. And you feel like, oh, as the young you would just be loving it. Or the young you would be so proud. Or the young you would just feel like I shouldn't stress because I'm on the right path. That is a really, really great feeling.
So anybody that's listening to this and going on our sort of theme of today's conversation, and they're kind of probably feeling a bit stuck right now because, a lot of people are feeling that way this year. What would you sort of say to them, in terms of, adaptability and change?
Something that I've been embracing even more lately is that when you're feeling in a rut and you're feeling a bit meh, sometimes that's a good sign. That's a sign for you to move into a different direction. So it's not necessarily negative. It's actually a little bit of a hello. It's like the universe being like, hey, take a minute and sit with this. And you're going to feel maybe down for a bit, but use this as an opportunity of where do you actually want to go? It means that you're ready for change. And then just jump in and try new things and be okay with trying it, testing it. Maybe it works. If it doesn't work, you didn't fail. It just means that you're on to the next thing. And how about you try something else? And the more that you listen to stories of people who are really successful, the more you realize that they actually didn't get it right the first time. And so that to me is really inspirational. So when you're feeling in a rut, actually take it as a blessing because it's actually a moment where you're ready to move to something new. And that in itself can be very hopeful. So just try something else. go for it and be okay with the outcome and take the learnings and keep building on it. Because by the time you get to, your 40s, you'll realize you don't know anything anyway. But you have a lot of experience and lessons behind you that help you just stay on a path and keep trying. Like, don't give up on yourself.
Oh, change is good. That is so brilliant. Thank you so much, Metz, for your time today. And I really, really enjoyed this conversation. So thank you.
Well, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you to Metz T. Bryan for joining us this week. If you're enjoying the podcast, don't forget to subscribe via creativeboom.com/podcast. That's where you'll find all our other episodes with creatives across the industry. Next time, we'll chat with Graham McGowan, co-founder of Jam Hot, a design studio based in Glasgow, and the person behind local networking event Gab. Until then.